It's officially iPhone season, and if you've been waiting to buy a shiny new iPhone, well, you can do that today. The question now is, which model should you get? Well, if you're looking for the best iPhone that money can buy, then you'll want the new iPhone 15 Pro Max. I'm so excited because this phone has a shiny new coat of paint, a new material actually called titanium. But it's really the features that lie deep within that make the 15 Pro Max, the iPhone, that's worth your while. Hi, I'm MICHAELJOSH, your gadget matchmaker, and over the last decade, I've made it my job to show people around the world that tech can be easy, fun, and exciting. On this channel, I give you special access to the products I review, the events I attend, and all the interesting people I get to meet along the way. So if big iPhones are your cup of tea, give this channel a like and subscribe, and I'll help you find the right gadget to match your needs. This is our iPhone 15 Pro Max review. Okay, I have it right here, the new iPhone 15 Pro Max. I need to film a quick unboxing, but first, let's meet up with some friends and pick up some goodies at the Apple Store. Okay, Crystal just picked us up. This is Gabby.
Hello.
And then I have Frank.
Hello.
Crystal's driving. Chai's here too. And we're on a hunt for merch at the Apple Store at Infinite Loop. Yay, we're here. So this is what we came for. Only on Apple campus can you get Apple t-shirts, and these plain ones with the Apple logo you can only get at this store at Infinite Loop.
I also like the green, but I love the pink, so both.
I'm gonna get the black one and the pink one.
Chai, this is so beautiful.
Do I need this?
Do we need this for a prop or something?
Yes, the answer is yes.
Okay, here on the table, and then the titanium iPhone right here. This is perfect. I'll take it. Bye. Bye.
2 hours later.
We are back from our shopping trip and we're heading home to New York tonight, but first we need to unbox the phone and set it up. If you'd like to see a full unboxing where we compared all the different iPhone 15 colors, you can click up here or down here to watch that. In the meantime, enjoy this very quick video montage of us unboxing our natural titanium iPhone 15 Pro Max. I'm waiting for my 15 Pro Max to finish restoring from iCloud, so this might be the last few minutes that I get to use my iPhone 14 Pro Max, where I've been rocking for the last 2 months this case from this video's sponsor, CASETiFY. You probably know about CASETiFY from their cute, customizable cases, but what impresses me the most about them is how much protection these cases actually offer. And this year, they launched the strongest case they've ever created. Ultra Bounce. You see, most screen cracks happen when the corners of the phone hit the ground, which is why they added these bounce corners to absorb 95% of the impact in case your phone drops. And the secret sauce to this protection is a material called EcoShock. Apart from the bumpers, CASETiFY also uses this material to reinforce the case. You'll find it in the inner lining and on this X-shaped back plate, just in case your phone lands on its back. Now, the best way to appreciate what it does is to see EcoShock in action. First up, the competition. As you can see, the metal ball bounces up and down. And now, time to try out EcoShock. Here goes. Notice that each time, EcoShock absorbs the impact. With the Ultra Bounce case, CASETiFY promises protection for up to a 32-foot drop. That's as tall as a fully grown T-Rex. If these large corners are not your cup of tea, CASETiFY also offers impact and bounce cases. If you want to pick up a case today, and I highly recommend that you do, just head over to casetify.com/gadgetmatchyt and you'll get 15% off your order. There are lots of designs to choose from. You can even customize your own, so you're guaranteed to find one that will surely match your personality. I'd like to thank CASETiFY for sponsoring this video. Okay, looks like restore is completed. I've got a case on to disguise it and keep it safe from prying eyes on the trip back home. It's 6:30 p.m. and I think we have at least 30 more minutes for a quick drink.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you so much. Salamat po.
Walang anuman.
It's the weekend in New York, and over the last few days I've had time to familiarize myself with the phone, fully move in. This is my phone now, and today we're actually heading to the New York Botanic Garden for a full day of battery and camera tests. I'm currently at Chai and Alex's house, and before we leave, I figured I'd do our first battery check of the day. I unplugged my iPhone 15 Pro Max at 1 p.m. and over the last 2 hours, it's currently 3 p.m. I was writing my script, I was using the phone, I booked an Uber, taking photos and videos, and I'm currently at 87%. Hi, by the way, this is MICHAELJOSH from the future. A little bit tired, voice is a little bit cracky, but from time to time, I will step into this video and provide some extra commentary, things that I failed to mention over the course of my review, and then the same guy is going to wrap it all up at the end. We made it to the Botanical Gardens and it is now 4:08 p.m., about an hour later from when we left. And before we continue, let's do another battery check. It is 74%. Probably some of the reason why there's some battery drain is because I used this phone for navigation and the trip was about 30-45 minutes long. Now, if something's great, why fix it, right? If you take a quick look at the new iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max, you'll find that it looks pretty similar to last year's models, but Apple has made two subtle yet solid tweaks this year. First is the move from stainless steel to titanium. Both are materials that Apple has used in the past. I like the matte brushed metal look of titanium. While stainless steel is flashy, it scuffs easily and is a huge fingerprint magnet. Titanium is lightweight too. So on paper and in the hands, it's about 9% lighter, and it's a difference that you can feel. Titanium is also more durable. In fact, the same titanium alloy that's used on the iPhone 15 Pro series is also used on the Mars rover. The change that I appreciate even more is the contour-cut edges. The sides of the iPhone are rounded ever so slightly, making it so much more comfortable to hold. In the hands, it feels smoother, more buttery, no longer sharp and angled. Speaking of comfort, I prefer the size of the iPhone 15 Pro a lot better than the 15 Pro Max. It's easier to use with one hand, and it's definitely much more comfortable to hold, like this. They didn't talk about it a lot, but Apple has also made huge improvements to repairability, so much so that replacing the back glass now costs much less. On Apple's repair page for the iPhone 14 Pro Max, for example, repairing the back glass damage costs $549. On the iPhone 15 Pro Max, that goes down to $199. And all that is thanks to Apple's efforts to make the iPhone more repairable. Unfortunately, all of those cost savings do not apply to a cracked front screen, so at the end of the day, I still recommend that you use a case. Maybe one from this video's sponsor, CASETiFY. The other difference may require a ruler, but if you actually do some measurements, you'll find that the 15 Pro and Pro Max are actually slightly shorter and narrower than last year's model, and that's thanks to narrower bezels, but don't worry, screen sizes are the same, 6.1 and 6.7 inches respectively. Some of you have asked on social media, what color should I get? Now, in terms of the Pro models, there are 4 colors to choose from. You can choose black, white, blue, or natural. Now, of course, it'll all boil down to what your personal preference is. I did a poll on Instagram and natural came out the winner. It's also my choice this year because it matches the natural color of the titanium band. That said, I've always loved blue iPhones. This one is a little bit darker, so sometimes in the shade it might even look black, but it does have nice hints of blue, especially when the light hits it. The new iPhone 15 series also comes with an updated UWB chip. It stands for Ultra Wideband. It enables features like being able to point your iPhone at your HomePod Mini to transfer over music, or using precision finding to find your lost AirTags. Now, with this updated chip, you can use precision finding to find your friends. And it's perfect for a day like this where it's so easy to get lost in the Botanic Gardens. Let's see if we can find Chai. So I got her pulled up. You can see her on the map, but let's press this. She's far. Let's see if we can move around to detect her signal. Oh, all right, I got her. She's 145 feet to my right. It's turned green. She's straight ahead. Let's go. Hey guys. I'm right here. We're here at Little Italy in the Bronx. It's closing time that we stopped over to get some wine and some yum-yums, but because it was a little bit noisy back there, we weren't able to do a battery check. Our battery an hour and a half ago was at 30%, and it is now at 23%. After our field trip to Little Italy in the Bronx, we headed to a Cantonese cocktail bar in LIC, Long Island City. It was the perfect opportunity to test out the low-light capabilities on the new iPhone 15 Pro. Photo samples are coming later in this video. Our evening ended at around 9 p.m. and my iPhone finally called it quits at about 9:30, giving it a total of 9 hours and 30 minutes of being on. But I will say that while this battery test is supposed to be a real-world test, it was also the day we were using it a lot. I was shooting photos and videos, using it to charge other devices, so keep that in mind. Regular use will not be as demanding on the iPhone. In my few days with the iPhone 15 Pro Max, it averaged about the same as last year's models, and that can be expected. Despite the improved power efficiency on the new SoC, the phone also does more, so it evens out in the end. And now it's time for a GadgetMatch charge test. The iPhone 15 Pro got to 21% in 10 minutes, 60% in 30, 86% in an hour, and a full charge took 1 hour and 40 minutes. Meanwhile, the iPhone 15 Pro Max got to 17% in 10 minutes, 45% in 30, 80% after an hour, and a full charge took 2 hours and 7 minutes. For a very long time now, way before USB-C became a thing, Apple iPhones had a Lightning port. Personally, I also credit Apple for pushing USB-C into the mainstream, because when they released the 2015 MacBook with only a USB-C port, everyone else hardly used USB-C. In fact, Samsung's first phone with USB-C was the ill-fated Galaxy Note 7 in 2016. Fast forward to 2023 though, and USB-C is the port of choice for most, if not all, Android smartphones. Add to that a large chunk of smart home and other tech products, and even an increasing number of Apple devices. This year, the iPhone finally gets USB-C, which in the grand scheme of things is better for everyone. Now, all you need is a single USB-C cable to charge your iPhone, your iPad, and Mac laptop, your Android phone if you have one, your Nintendo Switch, your power banks. You get the picture. The iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max have a USB-C 3.2 Gen 2 port, which gives you the ability to transfer data up to 10 gigabits per second. Also built into the A17 Pro chip is a USB-C controller, which among other things lets you record 4K 60 ProRes video to an external drive, provided that you have one of these USB-C 3 Thunderbolt cables. Of course, any transition to a new cable may be painful for some, especially those who have a lot of Lightning accessories lying around. But don't worry, Apple hasn't necessarily killed support for the Lightning port. All you need is this optional accessory, this $29 USB-C to Lightning adapter. This dongle should support data, audio, and power, which covers most, if not all, accessories. But let's test them out. For audio, let's try some Lightning earpods first. I can definitely hear some music, as well as this Shure microphone. Test mic 1, 2, 3. And for power, let's test this Anker power bank with a built-in Lightning connector. Yep, it's charging. If you'd like to pick up an adapter like this one, I'll put a link down below. Just note that it will not work or daisy chain with other Lightning dongles such as these. Another benefit of that USB-C port is that your iPhone is also now, in case of emergency, a power bank. It's going to be a trickle charge, about 4.5 watts of power instead of the 21 that you're used to when you plug into a brick, but it's good enough for a quick top-up of your AirPods or your Apple Watch. If you're really in a pinch, you can also connect another iPhone or another smartphone to prevent that phone from dying, or at least helping your friend book an Uber before they get home. If you connect to an iPhone with a Lightning port, the USB-C iPhone will always provide the power. But if you're connecting two USB-C iPhones, whichever iPhone has more battery capacity at the time the phones are connected, that device will always be the one to provide the charge. Exclusive to the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max is a new action button. This guy over here. So instead of a mute switch, you get a customizable button. Here's how it works. By default, it's still a mute switch. You press and hold to mute, press and hold to unmute. And if you press lightly, it just gives you the status. But that's just the beginning. You can assign the button to a host of shortcuts. Apart from silent mode, you can assign it to focus mode or the camera app, but not just the camera app, but a host of different camera modes. I set it to selfie, so with one long press, I can easily take a selfie, and with a quick press, that's the shutter button too. There's also flashlight, voice memo for recording that last-minute idea, magnifier, or a Siri shortcut, which I've set to switch off all the lights at my house at the end of the day. Recently, I was at an Apple event here in New York, and I learned about how the iPhone and the iPad are great tools for those with speech impairment. And now, with the action button, there's a shortcut for those tools too. In fact, there's a whole list of accessibility features that you can assign as a shortcut, but in this particular example, I'm looking for live speech, which can read out whatever you type on your phone.
What's up?
Also coming soon is a shortcut to the Translate app, so maybe if you're traveling, now you have a shortcut to translate what you're trying to say to those who you're trying to talk to. To really differentiate the iPhone from Pro models, starting last year, Apple decided to give the Pro models the latest chips each year. This year, they're doing it a little bit differently. While the iPhone 15 gets last year's A16 Bye-onic, the Pro models get a new A17 Pro chip. We've never really had an A something Pro chip, and I believe that Pro moniker is to fully differentiate the Pro from the non-Pro models. In the case of A17 Pro, that also means a new Pro GPU. That's comparative to the one that's found on a desktop Mac. One of the benefits of this is the ability to play desktop and console level games on an iPhone. A few months ago, Apple also launched Resident Evil Village on the Mac, and coming soon, Capcom will release the same title on the iPhone, and I got the chance to test it out. The game uses the same exact graphics and resources as the desktop version, and it runs solidly on an iPhone. And that's the goal, it seems, for the iPhone to be seen as the best device for playing console-style games on a mobile device. By the way, the controller I was using was from Backbone, and I'll put a link to it down below as well. Also a new feature of the A17 Pro chip is hardware-accelerated ray tracing, which is 9% faster than the software-accelerated version. Coming in early 2024 are Ubisoft's Tom Clancy's Division Resurgence and Assassin's Creed Mirage. I spotted this image online, and it's a great way to illustrate how the iPhone's camera has improved through the years. What do you see? Pay close attention to the camera bumps on the last few iPhone Pros, starting with the 12 Pro Max, the 13 Pro Max, 14 Pro Max, and the 15 Pro Max. Notice how much larger the bump is today. That's because with each passing year, the cameras on the iPhone Pro series are getting better and better. And that doesn't stop with the iPhone 15 Pro series. First off, the main camera features a similar 48 megapixel sensor that is even larger than before. When it comes to smartphones with many megapixels, smartphone manufacturers often leverage a technique called pixel binning, combining adjacent pixels into one, mainly for better light capture. The Pixel 7 Pro has a 50 megapixel sensor, combining 4:1 and outputting a 12.5 megapixel image. Samsung's Galaxy S23 Ultra has a 200 megapixel sensor. It combines 16:1 and also outputs a 12.5 megapixel image. Apple's iPhone 15 Pro series also combines 4 adjacent pixels into one to produce a 12 megapixel image. But then it adds one more step, combining that 12 megapixel image with the 48 megapixel full resolution photo. To test this, I shot identical photos using both the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. At first glance, both photos are great. You'll notice how much more detail is captured in the iPhone's photo. It's no contest. Here's another example shot in a dimly lit room. Night mode hasn't kicked in. Notice on the iPhone's photo there is more detail on my face. And when you zoom in on my Loewe Pixel jacket, there's much more detail on the denim. On the S23 Ultra's photo, these details are already mushy. It's a bit better on the iPhone 14 Pro Max, but you can definitely see the improvement these 24 megapixel images get. The other big feature that I think is going to be a game changer is called Next Generation Portraits. I love portrait mode. I love bokeh and that soft, creamy background that really makes a subject pop. But previously, the quality hasn't been as good as using the main camera. That's addressed this year. For the first time on an iPhone, portrait mode is now powered by the Photonic engine, meaning you get all the benefits of deep fusion and smart HDR. Even better, to shoot portraits, you don't even have to turn portrait mode on. Whenever you're using the main camera, as long as you're taking a photo of a human, cat, or dog, if you tap to focus on your subject, you'll see this F icon pop up. By the way, my iPhone also detected a carved pumpkin. This symbol tells you that your iPhone is capturing depth information, and all of these photos can be converted to a portrait even if you didn't use portrait mode. Just go into your gallery, hit edit, tap on the F icon, and then portrait mode. You can even move the slider to adjust how much blur you want. The only time this will not work is when your iPhone has switched to night mode. In that case, you'll have to switch to portrait mode manually. Speaking of night mode, it too gets all the benefits of Photonic engine for the first time. Here's another photo comparison for you, shot in a dimly lit room. Night mode kicked in, and thanks to the iPhone 15 Pro Max's Photonic engine, not only are the fibers in my fuzzy sweater more distinct, the colors on my sweater are also more accurate. And here's that photo from the speakeasy we visited. This was also shot with night mode. If we zoom in on Chai, notice how much more detail we were able to capture. Last year, the choice between the iPhone 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max was pretty simple. You just needed to answer the question, which size do you prefer? This year, however, you might want to think twice. That's because while the iPhone 15 Pro has a 3x zoom lens, the iPhone 15 Pro Max has a new 5x telephoto lens that can get even closer on subjects. It's the longest focal length available on an iPhone to date, and it can go all the way up to 25x digital zoom. It's perfect for tighter shots on smaller subjects like these flowers in my garden, or for objects that are further away. Cinematic mode also gets an update, and while recording, you can now zoom in. So here's a quick montage that we shot all with cinematic mode. While it comes to the iPhone 15 Pro series' cameras, there's still a lot more to cover. Like being able to record videos in log and then being able to apply your own LUTs, external recording to an SSD, or being able to use a cable to shoot and immediately transfer 48 megapixel ProRes RAW files to a Mac using Capture One, just like they do in pro photography studios. So don't worry, we're working on a dedicated iPhone 15 Pro camera video. In the meantime, enjoy some other samples shot using my iPhone 15 Pro Max. So, are the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max your gadget match? Let me start with this. If you own an iPhone 13 or 14, no matter what you want to hear, I'm here to tell you, you do not need one. Is the iPhone 15 Pro worth it? Sure, yes, it is. But at the same time, I know a lot of you have already made up your mind and are coming here to get validation. Sure, go ahead. If you have the money, upgrade. If you're on an iPhone Forever plan, why not? Upgrade, just get one. But seriously, there is a lot to love about the new iPhone 15 Pro series. That new titanium build is sexy, it's light, and it's definitely what I've been waiting for. That action button, I believe, is going to be a game changer. Soon, they're opening it up to third-party app developers also. That USB-C port is going to open it up to a whole bunch of possibilities as well as compatibility. And that new camera has set the bar for everybody else to try to beat. Plus, if you're a pro user, if you're a content creator, a professional video creator, then you're definitely going to want to leverage all of its new features as well. There's no beating around the bush. The iPhone 15 Pro Max is the best smartphone that you can get today. I highly recommend that you go out and get it, and it definitely comes with a GadgetMatch seal of approval. Let's not forget, Apple also released the iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Plus. Are those iPhones the one for you? Are they your gadget match? Well, make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel and hit that bell icon because we're about to post our review video, and if you have that bell icon pressed, you'll get notified as soon as we publish. Follow me on social media for all the behind-the-scenes fun stuff, including sample photos and videos. And for news and updates, make GadgetMatch.com your daily habit. Until the next video, I'm MICHAELJOSH. Thanks for dropping by.